Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Zoronden, and you are tuned into another fan cast for Starcraft 2. Let's go ahead and check out today's combatants here on Ohana. In the bottom right corner is going to be the light purple Zerg Kalma, and in the top left corner, the blue Protoss TeCH. And this is a Diamond League match. And again, this is a fan-submitted game, and I still need more fan-submitted games to be sent to me at Zoronden@gmail.com. That is in the information below, so you can check that out. I need more replays to cast more fan games, otherwise I'm going to be just doing pro games until then. So send those in. Do me one favor, try and keep them under 30 minutes unless they're just an absolutely amazing game. Otherwise, send that in. And when you do send that in, tell me what league it is in, and I will check it out and hopefully cast that game for you. So again, send me in those replays. I am out of replays. This is one of the few I've gotten since my call out on Tuesday. So send me more replays, guys. Send them in, send them in. And I will hopefully cast those for you. So today, this matchup is a practice match. So these two guys are just doing several games of practice against one another. And they did want to give a call out to UCAP or UCAP. That is their esports team. So quick shout out to those guys from TeCH and Kalma here. So if any of you guys are watching, you can send me your replays as well. I'd love to cast more of a team. Even if you do some crazy 2v2s or something like that, that would be fun to cover as well. Let me bring up that production tab here, and let's go ahead and check out the game as it is just starting to ramp up into more than just, droning out. Kalma has grabbed his natural expansion there. TeCH opting not to do a block as they're talking about here. He did grab the spawning pool first, so that is something to note. Some players just prefer to grab that pool first so they can have lings sooner. Others prefer the hatchery first themselves. So that does not usually mean we're getting anything crazy or different coming out. It's just something some players do differently. And no gateway just yet for TeCH. He has, of course, grabbed his expansion. He's running off just a single gateway at this moment. However, he is pumping out, I guess it's just two zealots. I was thinking he had one on the field already. Actually, he does. No, it's the one that just finished. So, just pumping out two zealots for now, opting to go for a zealot. Two zealots instead of a zealot stalker. Again, that can be just something they're trying out. This is, of course, a practice game. Here does come that cyber core down on the secondary ramp. It's always good on Ohana to attempt to block off the secondary ramp. Obviously, you do have to worry about these destructible rocks over here. But being that they're pretty close to the third, they're typically pretty easy to keep up and defend, especially once he has a few stalkers out. And, of course, lings can't do a ton of damage against rocks. They take quite a while to take down rocks. We do have a ling chasing down a probe here, and that probe will die eventually if he doesn't go home. That'll be a long tail for the two of those guys, and we can watch them here for a little bit as I check out the production tab. We do, of course, have Warp Gate coming down for TeCH, as well as another gas. There's a couple zealots. We do now have a third zealot coming out. Looks like those zealots are going to end up saving that probe, as he's going to happily sit on that watchtower for now. No proxy pylons out by TeCH just yet. Of course, he does not have Warp Gate just yet, but it is about halfway done, so if he wants to hit Kalma early, that's something he really should consider at this time. Throwing down a proxy pylon, whether it's over here in this kind of fourth base or even the third, is something to sometimes look at. Which, of course, he's doing right now is he's sending in these zealots, so they're going to at least know that third's there, whether or not he decides to hit it. And might be a wise decision to not, because those lings are on the field. Noticing something here with Kalma, though, at this moment, he does not have Zergling speed, no metabolic boost. So that is something crucial that he really needs to be picking up on. He just now got the gas for it. He's adding on 2 more gas. But at this time, that's going to be a major deficit for him. TeCH has done the proxy pylon, as I was talking about. And it looks like Kalma did indeed find that. Let's take it off of his view there, and yes, indeed, he found that quite easily, just kind of happily sending his overlords in the right directions, and that managed to explore and discover that. A couple more gateways gone down for TeCH. In the meantime, he is also converting to warp gates. Does a small warp in of more zealots here. Very heavy mineral production by both players. Unfortunately for Kalma, he's kind of missed his window here. Well, as I say that, there's only 4 lings on the field for Kalma, so that could end badly for him. He might lose a third here or something like that. However, I believe he has one spine crawler here and a queen. He may be able to defend this, but oh my gosh, yeah, I changed my mind about that. That queen went down so fast. This third is in serious trouble. I do not see it surviving, especially with the uprooted spine crawler. If he were to go for that right now, it would be gone. However, he is happy target firing the third. That is definitely going to go down. However, quite a few more lings coming in. Speed is not yet done. It is so close, though, with the broodlings surrounding it, though. Shabuzi, those guys go down quite easily. The funny thing is, he very well might have been able to kill off every unit there and take down the third if he had gone for it. Kalma did not have speed just yet, and the spine crawler was out of position. He had a short opportunity to do that. All the same, he did manage to take down the third, so that is a very nice score for TeCH. And I think they are talking about upgrades. I believe TeCH has 1 attack. Indeed, he does. That has obviously was pretty useful there for taking down that third. Check that out. It's weird that you see any larva, let alone 7 larvae, on an unconstructed hatchery. Just something that happens every once in a while. And we got an overlord over here blarfing on that third that TeCH is going to want, and he's probably clearing these rocks out for. So unfortunately about that, it's going to slow him down. Not much, just a little bit though. Considering he's got 5 sentries and a stalker on the field, he's going to easily push that overlord out of there. And looks like we got some obs on the field as well. Going to go and scout out a little bit. And as we are starting to slow down a little in the mid-game here, I'm going to speed this game just a little bit up. It's a longer game, but it's not a super long game. Looks like Kalma is going to try and take out his own rocks now. So both players popping on rocks, trying to take those down. We do have an immortal on the field for TeCH, as well as a couple of cannons in places. Still sitting on 1 attack, but he has now gotten 1 armor as well. He cleared out that overlord. He should be grabbing that expansion there. Indeed, it is. This expansion, this 4th over here, will probably be barfed on soon. However, for the moment, he has not done that. Not really sure why. He probably just forgot that overlord was there. Decent creep spread by Kalma. It is 12 minutes in, but he's nearing halfway on the map. And check that out. Muta's on the field, looking like he's grabbing... not looking like. He is grabbing a 4th as well, and I'm going to slow it down now that those Mutas are heading out. And I want to see if I can find where the spire is. And indeed, it has not yet morphed into a greater spire. We don't have a hive on the field yet, but that hive is coming in, and it is about half done. You need to keep an eye on these Mutas, but also keep an eye on that hive and see if he grabs that greater spire. We do, of course, have an infestor pet on the field, as well as a baneling nest. He's actually getting centrifugal hooks as well, so we might be seeing a infestor baneling attack after the Mutas. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That is a common transition, or at least not necessarily a common transition, but a common grouping with lings and infestors and even some banelings in there. And the probes are getting out of there. They do not want a piece of those Mutas, but they can do so much damage here. Muta's almost getting the line, however, they want to take out something. They take out a stalker. I guess that's a consolation prize, but they need to get the heck out of there. That blink causing serious issues, and they are running home. That creep spread has indeed overlapped the half point of this map and is indeed hitting the 2nd Xel'Naga Watchtower. That is starting to get into dangerous territory for TeCH. Very soon he's going to be surrounded by creep, and he's going to have fast-moving Zerg coming into his base. And check this out. Kalma is going to be grabbing a 5th, and I see extended thermal lance on the research tab. We do indeed have a Colossus on the field. Quite a few gateways, of course, at this time. And he's even putting more down, as he is going to need plenty of those to rebuild armies. And those Mutas just trying to find an opening. Unfortunately, they're pretty much only getting pot shots off at production lines. production lines, and not ever really getting into the mineral lines. More and more stalkers coming in. If anything, Kalma is forcing TeCH to mass stalkers at this time, which could end in Kalma's favor if he TeCH switches very quickly into something more useful. We do have Overlord starting to puke all over the map. I'm not really sure why this one's puking right here, but why the heck not, I guess. More creep is good creep. Any creep is good creep, unless you're playing against another Zerg, I suppose. Got a nice drone transfer coming over. Not as many as I thought. And we have an ulti cavern and ultis on the way. Oh my gosh. A greater spire coming in. He's just all up in that Tech 3. Kalma, one suggestion I would say is go for one at a time. Don't go for all of them at the same time. That way you can have some troops out on the field quicker and hit him up. But look at this. We got a Baneling Infestor ball going on here. Obviously, a few mutas remaining over here. That Stark is going to chase that Overlord off so that Kalma can't secure that from TeCH anymore. And TeCH is starting to freak out a little bit, seeing the creep reaching his base. He has just not been out on the field checking out what's going on. He had no idea what was going on the battlefield at all, just kind of being defensive from the mutas. And suddenly, we've got a 2-2 ultis, 2-2 lings, 0-1 mutas, as well as some infestors. This is a very mixed party that's going on for Kalma. However, it could be a disaster for TeCH as he is heavy into stalkers and even heavy into sentries. That's quite a few sentries. However, used properly, those sentries could cause some serious issues for Kalma. So the creep spread has been pushed back a little for Kalma. But again, both players kind of sitting back. So I'm going to speed it up just a little bit again, as we may or may not see that re-expansion of the creep for Kalma. He is now maxed. TeCH will be maxed soon as well. And Ob's going to discover the army right there, and he turns around and runs home. That is not what he wants to see. And here comes a possible collision course battle. TeCH wanting to go for this expansion, I guess. Here comes his army. However, Kalma, while he was in position for a second, it looks like he has since retreated. We almost had a giant clash there of the armies. And Kalma maybe going for the flanking maneuver, trapping TeCH's army up here on the ramp. Baneling starting to funnel in. Oh, so many went into that Immortal, though, and he takes so much damage. Overseer's coming in for some reason as well, trying to detect cloaked units, I guess. The Ultralisk going on the front line, trying to do so much damage. Unfortunately, there was just so much there for TeCH. And oh my gosh, the Infestors full energy. What is going on? Oh no. So many Infestors just doing nothing, going down to single Immortals. Oh, just so much devastation that Kalma could have made better use of. Morphing Broodlords in right over Stalkers. What? Oh, some crucial, just crucial mistakes there by Kalma, allowing his entire army to just be devastated in disgusting, disgusting fashion. Yeah, TeCH accidentally killing off one of his Stalkers in the horrible massacre there. That, frankly, was a massacre for Kalma. However, with the larvae and the hatcheries that he has on the field, his army has already almost maxed out. Quite a few roaches, in fact, this time around. 16 roaches. We do have a Broodlord on the field somewhere. A single Baneling, 8 Infestors, and 80 Zergling. He's losing Zergling. Am I missing something? I don't know, but looks like the roaches are going to go for the attack. They're going to try and saw through that pylon and sneak into the base here. I guess they're not really sneaking anymore. It's more like squeezing through that funnel. Of course, the Zealots coming in and just working through the roach line. These roaches really aren't going to be able to do much of anything. However, if they do start targeting some High Templar, they could do some decent damage. But that was not in the books. Just some unfortunate microing by Kalma. I'm not really sure what the case of that was. And wow, that is a lot of 3-3 Zergling. Do they have the crack upgrade, I don't know. We will check that out afterwards. But look at that. Look how many have funneled in here. That is just so many Zerglings. It's maddening. Gonna go for those weakened warping in Zealots, and they just go down liquefied so quick. What a waste of money by TeCH there. Gonna try and target the Stargate. Unfortunately, the cannons put in place of the crystals, or where the minerals once were, now actually defending against this crazy massive Zergling attack. And actually, that Zergling attack did not do too much, did not really pay for itself. The most damage it did was taking out that wave of Zealots that came in. And just the units on the map right now are a little nuts. I don't even really know what's going on. Indeed, he did have the crackling upgrade. Adrenal glands, I believe is what it's called. A ton of changelings being slaughtered over here. I mean, both players are just really experimenting with units at this moment. TeCH has an all kinds of ball. He's got a Bio Ball mixed in with an Immortal Colossus Ball. Obviously, Stalkers are almost always in any Protoss army. There's no Zerg in this map. Another massive Ling attack. It looks like Kalma's just kind of going for the expendable swarms of units, trying to do little bits of damage with tons of units. At least that time he retreated and saved at least a block of Zergling. I wouldn't say a majority, but a decent amount. And of course he managed to snipe off that fourth, which was a pretty big deal, as TeCH is pretty low on mining bases, and it looks like he might be going for this one as well. If he can take out this Nexus right here, it's going to be a crucial attack for him, as that could cripple TeCH's production at this time, and indeed he does snipe that off. No units in control here, and that's why the two armies are going clash to clash down here. Ultralisk all up in the base here, trying to do, not the base, the attacking units. And my phone is going off for some reason. Let me sit on it. The Ultralisks just get liquefied up front thanks to the Colossi, but the Broodlords are going to wipe out the army of TeCH there. So the victory does indeed go to Kalma here, and Kalma is indeed the one that sent in the game. I want to thank him for that. It was an entertaining game, some crazy late game stuff going on by both players. More so by Kalma, though, really experimenting with both top tier units, Broodlords, Ultralisks. I'd like to see it commit more to one or the other, at least at first, because you're just kind of teching to both at the same time, and that's unfortunate to see. You could have done an attack with one of the two earlier. Obviously, having them both up later on for a tech swap is a great thing, and of course that is kind of what got you the game there, as those Broodlords worked out really well for you, as well as the Infestors using them more usefully at the end of the game. Still a lot of energy on quite a few of them, but either way, it was a fun game. I enjoyed casting it. Thanks to Kalma for sending that in. Again, a shout out to UCAP or UCAP. That was from Kalma. So thanks for sending that game in, guys, and please do send more in. And that's to Zoronden@gmail.com. It's in the information below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please do thumbs up and subscribe if you liked this, and I will catch all of you on the other side.